What if I told you one of the greatest love stories in history didn't just break hearts, it destroyed an empire, not because they were weak, but because they loved too deeply, at the wrong time, in the wrong world. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen. She was a force, not the kind that demanded attention, but the kind that owned it the moment she entered a room. Her voice, calculated. Her eyes, always thinking 2 moves ahead. She didn't seduce men with beauty alone. She seduced them with understanding. She knew what powerful men feared, what they desired, and most importantly, what they were missing. And then one day, Rome sent her a man not knowing he would never leave the same. Mark Antony was power, a Roman general, a leader of men, a symbol of strength. He had armies, he had loyalty, he had the future of Rome in his hands. But inside, there was something unstable, a hunger, not for power, but for feeling alive. And when he met Cleopatra, it wasn't just attraction, it was recognition, like 2 storms finally colliding. And from that moment, nothing else mattered. Their love didn't grow slowly. It exploded, nights filled with gold, wine, laughter, days lost in each other's presence. They created a world where nothing existed outside of them. Not Rome, not Egypt, not responsibility, just them. But here's the dangerous part about love like this. It doesn't just connect you, it consumes you. Antony stopped thinking like a general. He started feeling like a man in love. And the more he gave himself to her, the more Rome began to slip away. But he didn't notice, because when you're drowning in passion, you don't feel the water rising. Rome was watching, and Rome does not tolerate weakness, especially not from its strongest men. Octavian, rising in power, saw something Antony couldn't see. This wasn't just a love story. It was a vulnerability, a crack in the armor of a giant. And cracks are where empires break. Antony was given a choice: return to Rome or stay with Cleopatra, duty or desire, logic or emotion. And like many before him, he chose love. But love does not protect you from consequences. War came, not because Antony wanted it, but because his choice demanded it. The battlefield didn't care about love. It only respected clarity. And Antony, he was no longer clear. His decisions clouded. His instincts weakened. And in the end, he lost. Not just the war, but himself. When he heard the rumor that Cleopatra was gone, something inside him broke. Not the general, not the leader, the man. And in a moment of despair, he made one final decision. A decision driven not by strategy, but by heartbreak. Cleopatra wasn't gone, but by the time she realized, it was already too late. The man who once commanded armies now lay defeated, not by enemies, but by love. And she knew there was no world left for her without him. No throne, no power, no future. So she made her choice, not out of weakness, but out of refusal, to live in a world that had taken everything from her. And just like that, their story ended, not with victory, not with peace, but with silence. History remembers them as lovers, but if you look closer, you'll see something deeper. Love, Tsai, is not always gentle. Sometimes it demands everything. And when you give everything, without balance, without awareness, without control, even the strongest fall. So the question is not, was their love real? The real question is, have you ever loved someone so much that you started losing yourself?